The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik.
Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to learn from Siman over here where the red dot is until the Tashma over here. The Gemara is going to bring a few brises to try to determine whether the halacha is like Abaya or Rava. We learned in the previous lesson that there's a case called Yiyush Shalei Medas, which means an item which does not have a siman on it, and when the finder finds it, the owner has not yet miyayish on the item. He has not yet given up of finding his item. But it has no siman, so he will give up when he realizes that it's lost. Abaya says this is not called Yiyush. Because the owner does not know yet that he lost the item, he cannot give up on finding it. Rav, however, holds that it is called Yiyush because as soon as the owner realizes that he lost it, because it has no siman, he will definitely give up of finding it and he will be miyayish. Now the Gemara is going to bring a few brises to try to prove that the halacha is like Rava, that it is called Yiyush if there is no siman, even if the owner does not know yet that he lost it. Let's see in our Gemara. The Gemara starts off with a mnemonic. Mnemonic is what the Gemara calls a siman. Siman with these letters. What these letters are, it's a sign for us to remember the different cases that the Gemara is going to bring down. So let's just look at the first three. First one is Pei, Mem, and Gimel. So Pei stands for the case that we're going to discuss now, which is Peiros. Mem stands for the next case, which is Mais, which is about money. Gimel is the third letter in Igule Tvela, which is the third case, and so on and so forth. So the Gemara is giving us a sign, a mnemonic, to remember the questions that the Gemara and the cases that the Gemara is going to bring. Let us start with the first brisa that we are going to learn today. So let's make it 1 over here. This is the first brisa. Tashma, come and learn. Peiros mifuzarim. We had learned in our Mishnah that if a person finds fruits scattered on the floor, he gets to keep it. So says the Gemara, seemingly, the owner, when he dropped the fruits, he does not know that he did not realize that he lost it, and nevertheless, the Mishnah just says, if they're scattered on the floor, the finder may keep it, even though we don't know whether the owner gave up on it or not. So this seems like a Rai to Rava, that even if the owner does not know that he lost his item, he gives up on it, and the finder may keep it. So this is the proof that that we're trying to bring. So let's make a P over here for proof. And here we're going to make an R for rejection. Here the Gemara is going to reject this proof that we just brought. So the Gemara rejects this proof and says, Ha'amar Rav Ukva Bar Chama. Rav Ukva Bar Chama had already said, we already learned on the previous page, that what the Mishnah is speaking about in a case, Hacha over here, B'mashkanta de Bizri Askinan. We are referring to a case of the wheat that was left in a threshing floor, which we had learned on the previous page. Daveda Midasi. It's lost with the knowledge of the owner. The owner knows that the wheat fell on the floor. However, he does not want to be bothered to go reclaim it. And that's why we say that the finder may keep it. However, in a regular case, maybe the finder may not keep the item if it has no siman, because the owner does not know about it. So this is how the Gemara rejects this proof. Now let's move along to the second proof. To the second brisa. Tashma, come and listen, come and learn. The Mishnah had also continued and said, Ma'is mefuzares, money that is found scattered on the floor, Perek Eilu Shalai, the finder may keep it. So now the Gemara is going to say the same logic that it mentioned earlier. Amai, why is this? Halayada denafal minei. Why does the Mishnah say whenever a person finds money, he may keep it? Maybe the owner had never given up on finding it, and therefore, why should the finder get to keep it? It's Yishalei Medas. So this is the proof that the Gemara tries to bring, again, that we hold like Rava. Now the Gemara is going to say the rejection. The rejection is Hasam Nami Kid Rabbi Yitzchak. Over there also, it's for a different reason, like Rabbi Yitzchak says. The Amar, that Rabbi Yitzchak says, Adam Asoi Lemashmesh Bekisei B'chol Shah. A person is common that he touches his wallet B'chol Shah V'Shah every hour or very often in order to check that his money is still there. And therefore, as soon as the person lost it, the person realizes right away that he lost it, and he gives up a fine because he has no simon. And therefore, Hachanami Adam Asay and Mashish Bekisei B'chol Shah V'Shah. Here as well, a person, it's common to check his wallet very often, and therefore, for sure, the owner realized that his item was lost, and therefore it's not Yesh L'Lei Medas. So, for today's lesson, we tried to bring two proofs that the halacha is like Rava from our Mishnah. One was about, what's right here? One was about peiros, about fruits that were found. And the other one was about mais, about money that was found on the street. And both of them we said that even though they have no siman, it's not a raya to Rava, because either it's referring to a case where the owner knew about that it was lost because it was in a threshing floor, or mice that the owner constantly looks for, checks his money, and therefore knows that he lost the money, and therefore it's not Yesh L'Lei Medas because the owner does know that he lost the money. And this is the end of this lesson.